I used to listen to metal music and rap music and all those kind of songs, and I want to tell you, the music you're listening to is ruining your life. And I know that's a hard thing to say to you because you probably can't imagine living without music. But let me tell you, this one thing that you feel like you can't live without, that you feel is the way you express yourself, deep down it is hurting you and you don't realize it. A couple years ago, I listened to a lot of degenerate music like that, a lot of dark music, whether it's rap, whether it's dark metal, black metal, or whatever it's called. I think it's called black metal. But the very like loud, just like obnoxiously like loud music. And it's funny because the rock and metal music industry specifically, like that specific genre, often like has satanic imagery and satanic symbolism as a joke, right? Like it's nobody actually takes it seriously. It's just a thing they do. They don't take it seriously. It's not actually like satanic. And I'm sure anybody who listens to metal music or rock music, I'm sure none of them actually believe that this is like satanic inherently. The funny thing is, it is actually satanic. Let me tell you why. From somebody who used to listen to this kind of music. So music, we all know, speaks to our soul. And the reason why music is so dangerous, the music you listen to, music specifically speaks to your soul. It specifically puts you in a haze when you listen to it. It puts you in like this zone where you're getting a lot of subconscious thoughts and subconscious input from the song you're listening to without even realizing that you're getting it. The scary part about that is you're unable to filter out what thoughts you're getting. And so every single one of them, whether it's good or bad, whether it's really good or really bad or neutral, you are entertaining every single one of them. You don't get to choose which ones you entertain when you're listening to these kind of songs. Maybe you're listening to a metal song or a rap song or a rock song, whatever. Those are just the ones I have on the top of my head. You could do any genre. You could do pop music. Let's say you're listening to a song specifically, and all of a sudden while you're listening to the song and just kind of in the zone, you're listening to the music, you get a negative thought about somebody else. Maybe it's a violent thought, maybe it's a daydream of like you beating somebody up, or it's an idea of you taking somebody's girl, or it's some negative thought about yourself. Maybe it's a lustful thought about somebody, maybe it's just a random thought that you hate your life and that you want to kill yourself. That thought randomly enters your head. Have you ever noticed, probably not, but have you ever noticed that you get those kind of thoughts when you listen to this kind of music? You get these dark thoughts, these dark desires, ending your life or hurting somebody else or hurting yourself. Oftentimes we don't realize we're getting it, but we just go through it. And the bad part about this, there's layers to this. Let me explain. Please don't click off. This is very, very important. The crazy part about this is on a long enough time frame when you listen to this kind of music, you numb yourself to it so much to where you don't know any different. And so these negative thoughts almost start feeling like home to you. They start feeling comfortable. They start feeling like your place to be, like your safe place. So now you've made such a big stronghold over your life that these dark negative things are actually like who you are. Like it's where you feel like you belong. You get comfort from listening to these like negative thoughts, these negative subliminal messages. You feel comfortable in the presence of that. The dangerous part about that is, for one, you're not going to be close to God. You're not going to want anything to do with God because that's just not who you are. Let me explain why you don't want to be close to God as a result, and also the second reason as to why this is bad. Before I explain, I want to give you an analogy. I want to give you something to think about. If you were to listen to a positive song, like a really upbeat, positive song, would you feel uncomfortable? Or even worse, if you were listening to a Christian worship song, this might be an actionable step if you want to try this out right now. If you listen to metal or rap music or really like that kind of genre very often, I want you to go and like search up like a Christian worship song like King and Country or Hillsong Worship or something. I don't know. Search one of those up, listen to it with your headphones in. How does it make you feel? Do you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel a little weird or on edge or like cringy almost? Do you feel like literal cringe? That might be because the demons in you don't like that kind of music. They don't like that message because you become so numb and so used to the negative thoughts, the negative messages that is built up so much over time to where the positive thoughts and the positive messages make you feel uncomfortable, make you feel out of place because that's not who you are. This isn't you. So the demons that have attached to you because of these negative thoughts, these negative songs that you have entertained subconsciously without knowing, has distanced you from God and anything good in life, anything good for you. And now you can't associate with those things. And now you're even darker in a hole. And that hole is only going to get deeper and deeper and deeper because you can't do anything good. You can't be a part of anything good because it's not your comfort zone. It's not who you are anymore. So now your identity is completely overcome by demons. Like your identity is literally, the only thing that's left of your identity is the demons that run your life. It's kind of funny because you probably make jokes like, oh, the demons in my head, or the voices, but you get voices, don't you? Let's be real for a second here. You do get voices. You do feel like there's voices in your head. You do feel like there's thoughts that like intrusively come in your head every like 5 seconds, don't you? Now that's an extreme example. Now that's a very extreme example. If you're not that far down, then you probably don't get them like that, but it's possible. It's very much possible, and I don't want that for you. I don't want you to get so comfortable and so like lost in these dark negative thoughts, this like dark atmosphere. The only thing you can possibly do to revert this is to listen to more brighter music, more better music. And it's going to be uncomfortable at first because it's not going to feel like you. It's not going to feel like where you belong. It's not going to be comfortable to you. And you probably listen to music to comfort you from the real world. Probably listen to music as a cope or as a numbing mechanism from the pain, the suffering, the reality of this life, the struggle, the mental demons that you have. And so it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. You're not going to want to do it because you're going to feel very uncomfortable and very just annoyed and frustrated. But if you continue to do it, you will do better. And so another thing you have to realize is there's God's way of doing things and there's a devil's way of doing things. The devil's way is just a corruption of God's way. And so God's ways brings love to the max. So God is love, God is peace, God is joy, God is truth, honesty, purity, innocence, all these things. So God is the source of that, and the devil is the source of everything negative and bad and evil and dark. The demons of the devil have been afflicting you with these negative thoughts, and because you entertain them, they have a bigger stronghold over you and control you more and control more of your life and your mind and your soul and your body. But you can very easily, if you just focus on it and you know the truth of the spiritual world and the reality, you can come back to God and do the godly things and the good habits and don't go near the bad stuff anymore, and don't entertain those negative thoughts anymore and just reject them completely. And you come closer to God. Pretty soon, God and the good things and the good atmosphere will be your safe place, your comfort zone, rather than the negative place. Pretty soon, this is going to be really interesting. Pretty soon, that negative, dark place, those dark thoughts aren't going to be your comfort place anymore, and they will actually be uncomfortable to you. That's how you know you are getting far with God. And that's the funny thing, because like I've been in that place where like all you want to do is have negative thoughts and think about violent thoughts and empowering thoughts, prideful thoughts, self-deprecating thoughts, suicidal thoughts, intrusive thoughts that you would never do, like killing a bunch of people. That used to be my safe place. But the closer I get to God, and of course after my born again experience where I prayed to God and God like filled me with a bunch of peace, love, and joy, and it felt so good, and I like gave my life to God through Christ. Ever since then, and ever since I get closer to God, I feel more of that positive. I feel more safe in that God, in that like godliness, the good habits. And the funny thing is, I get repelled by the negativity. And so there's a lot of songs that I used to listen to that if I listen to it now, I would feel so uncomfortable and so disgusting and so horrible about it, and it would make me feel like physically gross inside. It would literally like be a burden to me to listen to that kind of music. And yet 3-4 years ago, that was the music that made me feel safe, that made me feel like an escape from this life, an escape from the trauma, escape from the abuse, escape from the life that I lived. You don't realize there's another side to this, but there is another side, and there is a better side for you. There is brightness for you. There is good for you, and I want that for you. I want you to come and realize that there's better for you, that you are made for more in this life, that you are made to be with God, the creator of the universe. We all think it's a fairy tale. We all think, oh, good versus evil, the devil versus God. God's real, and God's ways are real. God's lifestyle is real. And if you read the Bible, you'll know what God's ways and his lifestyle is and the things he likes. If you live that out, I'm telling you, your life gets so much brighter and you feel so much more alive. You feel more spiritual and sensitive, and it feels so good. And so if you're listening to this kind of music, if you're listening to metal, rap, this like dark music that like gives you these dark and negative thoughts and these like dark feelings, do your best to replace those things with the positive things, with the godly things, with not the self-deprecating things, but the self like lifting up things, the things that lift you up, the things that make you feel better, that make you feel like more alive. It's gonna suck at first, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but over time you'll kind of purify your soul in a way and just feel better innately. So with that being said, I love you all, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.